What's going on, everybody? So I got this letter this morning, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, to be honest with you, because I just didn't want to give it any power. But I literally prayed on it this morning, and I sat in silence for a really long time today. And I went on a few long walks with Ruth, and I keep coming back to reading it, and I just can't seem to let it go. And I don't know why God continues to make me be the man that talks about this, because I swear, y'all, like I do not want to talk about narcissism. Like that, this is not what I want to be talking about, but it's just like I've experienced it since I was a child with my stepfather. Then I'm in this crazy narcissistic relationship, and I don't know anything about narcissism at all. Like until my ex was calling me a narcissist in our relationship, telling me that I'm gaslighting her. I'm like, what does that mean? Literally, you all, like in 2022 or whatever, the beginning of that, when like she really started calling me that, I ordered a book on Amazon, this big thick one. It was about codependency, narcissism, and something else. Oh, CPTSD. Looking back now, she was probably so pissed when she saw that arrive in the mail. But the point of it is like I didn't know what any of this was, right? And so my only exposure to really what was going on was that after I left this relationship, I find out like I start going to therapy, and one thing leads to another, and the therapist is like, okay, have we considered this, right? And if you are a victim of narcissistic abuse and you've escaped, then you know that one of the first things that you deal with when you first leave is that you do not believe that you are not the narcissist. Like it's all, and especially, I can't speak for women, but for men especially, if you're a man who's high performance, high achieving, he's had a lot of success in life. There's nothing that he can't beat. Like if you're that man, dude, like I'm telling you, the narcissist, when you leave her in this example, you think there's no way that you aren't the narcissist. Like she has you convinced that you are. And it's like people have to convince you that you're not. I went to therapy and I kept changing therapists because they kept telling me it's her. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm just going to go find somebody else that can actually help me. Right. And so the thing about narcissism is that, again, when I learned about it and I finally came out of it and I started to open up to this world and started making content, you guys, I don't mean to be like, dismissive or to discount what you guys have all gone through, men or women. But men, obviously, not obviously, but a lot of men, I get probably probably get 30 to 40 messages a day from men either telling me, thank you for your content. It saved my life. God bless you. You're doing God's work. This is not about me. All I'm saying is that when I started posting this content, it started making me realize how many more men, and not even men, but women, how many people in general were suffering in silence in these narcissistically abusive relationships. And the internet has made it such a trending like word that the real victims of narcissistic abuse, we can't really even say it out loud because we know that society like will point at us and be like, oh, you must be the narcissist, or not everybody's a narcissist, or oh my God, everybody's a narcissist these days. And so like people whose trauma is that they had to sit down and shut the fuck up, like we still have to sit down and shut the fuck up. And it's like, it's traumatic in and of itself. And again, I'm not whining. So when it comes back to this letter I got, in the end, I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit down and shut the fuck up. Like, I want to address what gaslighting literally looks like. Because, like, when I'm going to go through this letter here in a second, somebody from my church sent me this letter anonymously. I got this letter anonymously this morning. I woke up at 4:40 this morning. Um, I have really been struggling lately with my mental health. I am 41 years old. Right now, at the time of shooting this live video, I'm 599 days sober. And tomorrow for my 600 days, I was honestly thinking about going and just getting fucked up. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm emotional talking about it, but it's like, I'll say this because I want to have a conversation about narcissistic abuse and I want to share this letter, but this is not about me. I'm not looking for vindication. I'm no expert. I'm no guru. I'm not licensed. I'm not a therapist. I'm like you guys, I'm nobody. You shouldn't even listen to me. I'm just sharing a story and an experience that I'm having with healing from narcissistic abuse, finding Jesus Christ, joining church at the age of 40 for the very first time ever, and then learning about church culture or being part of a church culture for the last year and a half, and then seemingly maybe finding some sort of a vulnerable narcissist in the church. So I'm getting to an entire point. The point of it is that 599 days sober, and I've done all the things. I've done all things. Even with my heart, like I truly have given it to Christ. I believe in Jesus Christ. It's not just lip service. Like truly, truly, there's nothing else but Jesus, right? I truly believe that. I have faith in that. And also, because I've been doing a lot of research, I guess there's this thing called passive suicidal ideation. And it's like, it's not necessarily that you really just like want to die. It's just that like, you think about dying, you think about killing yourself all the time. And I guess it's like a passive thought, because it's like it's not even like you hate your life. It's just like you just don't really care about anything anymore. And so there's this new, journey that I'm on now, where it's like I'm doing all the things. At first I was a scumbag in life and a drug addict and a criminal. And then I cleaned up my act and I got a little better, and I found the universe and God with a capital G. And I was bartending, and then I found entrepreneurship, and I started making some money, and then a lot of money. And I was helping a lot of people, but I was like a hardcore drug addict, and it was all fake. It was all a facade. And by 2020, I realized it was all facade. And then I went and hid out in the mountains for a couple of years, found this woman who I thought was my forever woman, got to be like walk into this dream setup, the teenage boys that I always wanted, the fucking dog, the fence, Montana, like the woman that picked me. Like, why would she pick a man like me? Like years of healing done just through this relationship, all to have it be a crazy facade and lie in and of itself. Like, if it wasn't for all that, though, I wouldn't have been brought to Jesus Christ. So what I'm saying, though, is I'm not looking for pity. I know there's other guys, I know there's other men out there that are going through this. I don't have answers. I just want you to know that you're not alone, dude. I just want you to know, like, there are other men out there that are struggling with that, dude. Like, I know all the things to do, and I've given my heart to Jesus, and I've done all the coaching. I've been a transformational coach for over a decade of my life. Like, I've been blessed to make very good money helping high level people create high level results. So the point that I'm getting at is, it seems to me at this point that no matter what I do, good or bad, a lot of money, no money, help a lot of people, be very selfish, live for Jesus, live for myself, and everything in between, it still seems that like it doesn't matter. And I don't mean that to be depressing. I'm learning in real time. I know that God has a plan. I believe that firmly for all of us, right? And also, I don't understand why anything happens. Like, why do I get 27 million views a month on social media? Like, why me? And why does that have to be about narcissism? Like, why did he make that happen? Or like, why did you get kids and I didn't? Or, why did I get to travel the world speaking for a few years, and, somebody that's way more talented than me never even gets out of their hometown? Like, I don't understand it. And it seems that no matter how good I do or how bad I do, still there's things that are going to come against me, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's like at 41 years old, I've warred against everything my whole life. I've warred against everything. And it's just like when you're a child that grows up in trauma and you spend your life having to learn skills to protect yourself, you carry them into adulthood, right? And I don't want you to feel bad for me. Like, I don't feel bad for me. I'm sharing what I've learned and what I'm learning, right? We carry these things into adulthood. And so what happens is, for my whole life, I can only see the world through a lens of me waiting for somebody to fuck me over. And I wait for it. And I find cognitive bias that reinforce that belief. And then I cut bait. And I've done this my whole life, and I've been willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I've never cared about collateral damage, because I've always been so reactive, because I've always wanted to show the person that was hurting me how much that they're not hurting me, that I was willing to hurt anybody on the way to doing that. And so it's no wonder, looking back now, why I ended up with such a narcissistically abusive partner, because for me to be able to exist in a narcissistically abusive relationship, I still have to be as equally as toxic energetically to exist in that realm. Otherwise, we couldn't coexist together. The polarity would not be the same. Like when you have a magnet, you have one magnet, you have a positive and negative. The polarities are opposite, but it's one magnet, and you can't have a magnet without one end. So what I'm saying is, for those of us who have been in narcissistic abusive relationships, I'm sorry to be the one to inform you, but like we are equally toxic in our own ways and equally as manipulative in our own ways, and we don't even realize it. And so what I'm saying about what I'm about to read to you in this letter is like, yeah, the thing that's so aggravating about narcissists is the reason that they get to us so much is because what they're saying is partly true. They're experts at taking our insecurities that we're not cleaning up or not taking responsibility for, or the promises that we continue to break, especially as a man. Like we say we're going to do these things and then we don't. We continue to break promises to ourselves and everybody around us, which is why people can't count on us, which is really why so many women are becoming dismissive avoidance, which is completely separate of narcissism, which is probably why I should start doing more live videos about this, because you have to know the discernment between the two. But I want to read this letter to you guys and point out like what narcissist is. Like if spiritual gaslighting was a letter, it's this right here. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. Like this is an anonymous letter, but it could literally only be one person. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. And this is classic narcissist stuff. And I'll explain the whole thing. I'll explain the entire social dynamic. I'll explain why it happened now. So if you want to know about narcissism, like settle in, dude. Save this for later. Subscribe, whatever. I don't know. We're gonna start going live and talking more. Okay, so I guess I should give some context before I read this letter out. This is one of my favorite parts that the anonymous writer wrote me. Take a quick look at a list about narcissistic traits and see how much you see of yourself in there. Yourself is all capitalized. I don't know why I read it like that. I'm just annoyed. Let's get some context. But before I do, I just want to say is that everything I'm about to share has nothing to do with me. I'm not looking to be right. I'm not looking to accuse anybody. The only hope, the only thing I care about every single day is that you find Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Like, listen, y'all, we live in a supernatural realm. And my entire life, I have believed in aliens and ghosts and 5D and 6D and 7D and astral projecting and blah, 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 like all that stuff. It's all demonic. Once you start reading the Bible, you understand that. And I understand that if you believe all of that stuff now, that New Age stuff now, and I'm talking like I am, I accept and acknowledge the fact that repels you and pushes you away and you see me as some sort of religious bigot. But also please remember that like, I was a New Age spiritualist and identified as a shaman for like a decade of my life. Okay. Like I was into all the New Age spiritual stuff. And so I just found Jesus Christ. And all I'm saying is when you read the Bible, what you realize is that in Genesis, he basically tells us there's two types of beings, right? There's human beings and there's angelic beings. And I don't believe that there's an outer space. I don't believe that there's a globe. I believe there's a firmament. And I believe that the aliens are actually just interdimensional beings, right? Angelic beings. But we'll get into that another time. And if that's just what I believe, okay? And so I'm only sharing that not to push my Christian friends away, but to tell you New Age spiritualists, like the things that you read in the Bible, if you read it objectively, you're going to start to understand like everything that you know spiritually, everything you know New Age is basically plagiarized from the Bible. So anyways, I want to get into the narcissism thing, but I just want you guys to know I have no ploy, I have no angle, I'm not selling you anything. Like, and I'm not going to preach at you. I just want you to clearly know, like at any given time, if you come up to me and it's like, what is going on? The conversation is going to end up going back to Jesus Christ, because what I've found in 41 years, I've had millions of dollars, I've had no money. I've had millions of followers and no followers. I've had millions of views and no views. Like I've been in the greatest relationships and the worst relationships. Like it's not about me. Again, I guess God is just taking me through all of these experiences because he is setting me up to maybe start doing this podcast more regular. Like, dude, I don't know you guys. Like, I don't want to be the narcissist guy. Like, I wanted to build top paid speaker. Like, I wanted to keep building this. That's what I wanted to talk about. And then my life was completely disrupted by this thing. And I started realizing that we live in a supernatural world of good versus evil. And that every single thing in this world is created to get us away from the truth or to hate the truth, which is that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Because there's going to come a time when this dimension, and again, sorry, Christian friends, I'm just trying to speak in New Age ease so my other friends can maybe kind of get Jesus curious, let's call it. But it's like this whole entire thing that I used to believe was a simulation, it is a simulation, but not like I used to think. It's like God created this realm for us to have free will to choose if we're going to be with him or without him. What I've understood is that narcissist is a demonic spirit that, listen, only God is omnipresent. So only God can be everywhere at once. The devil can't be everywhere at once. That's why not every fucking thing is a demonic attack, okay? What happens though is the devil came to kill, steal, and destroy. And so he has set up these little minions, right? And what happens to us as people is that when we abuse our temple and our body, when we abuse our mind, when we abuse our heart, when we open these gateways through drugs, through drinking, through violence, through sex, through the things we watch, the things we listen to, the beliefs that we have, like all of that supernatural stuff is true. It's just that it's not true as in the new way the New Age people want us to believe it. And so what happens is there are people that are awake. For lack of a better way to explain it, like, yeah, I still believe they're like NPCs. Like, bro, you should come to my hometown. You should go to the place where this church. You want to talk about NPCs? You want to talk about why people like you and I always feel persecuted? Like, why does drama follow us? And why does it always feel like we're the ones that are causing the drama when really we're the ones that I feel like are trying to be the most drama free, right? So what I'm starting to understand, again, as it pertains to narcissism in general and this channel, what I'm saying to you guys is every single thing in the world, all the things, it's all constructed to keep you from knowing the truth, that which is that this realm is going to come to an end. And if you read the Bible, like, and you look at what's happening in Iran and in Israel, like, how can you, let's not even a whole other thing, but people should repent and prepare. But it's all a ploy to keep you from Jesus. That's all it is, okay? So again, if you've been sent a narcissistic relationship, one, you are equally responsible for being toxic, manipulative. You need to heal that. And it comes from a dysregulated nervous system, which means that you need to learn how to re-regulate your nervous system. I believe that the way I did it was through getting sober, getting in shape, which is just taking control of my mind and my body. So hormonally, I'm functioning better. And then getting the scripture and then, getting around surrounded by other dudes. And even still, it's like, well, I'll talk about all that another time. Point being is that it's a spiritual attack. That's what I'm noticing. And I haven't figured it out yet. I really wish I had. That's why I just trailed off. Cause I'm like, I was just going to tell you like what I think you should do. But the truth is, I don't fucking know. Like I haven't figured it out. Like I am going crazy because I don't understand it. Okay. So let me read this to you guys. I never believed in Jesus, never believed in the Bible. I had a few years traveling the nation, traveling the world, teaching people how to teaching speakers how to monetize social media. That's what I've done. That's what top paid speaker is. And it was a blessing. Okay. The reason that I tell you that is because during that time, I literally openly on live videos just like this and on stages, like literally, I used to like persecute Jesus Christ. I used to literally say out loud, "Oh, forgive me, Father." Oh, it's the worst, dude. I hate even saying it, dude. I used to tell people, I'm like, Jesus, like that's the dumbest idea. I'm like, that's so stupid. So, this is what I would say. I would say, so you're telling me that my God is so small, he's so small-minded that he will only let me into to eternal heaven if I believe that this one man saved humanity? I don't subscribe to that. No, thank you. Right? Like, that's how I felt about it. Anybody that like suggested the Bible, I would roll my eyes so hard. So why I'm telling you this is because when I got reverse discarded from my narcissistic relationship, which reverse discard to me means that when you get discarded from a relationship, it's the narcissist discards you. Like literally, that's what it is. It's like throwing you away, right? The reverse discard is when the narcissist makes it so impossible for you to, hey, no, thank you. How old are you? 17-week-old Aussie, Ruth? I love her. God gave me her to help me regulate my nervous system because I couldn't figure it out. So when I got out of the narcissistically abusive relationship, I didn't want to live still. I was like, this is pointless. I don't have kids anymore. The woman I thought that I loved turned out was banging a whole bunch of other dudes behind my back for the entire 3 years we were together. Like, I'll never trust women again. Like, I don't want anything else. Like, I might as well I didn't call him father yet, but I literally fell to my knees. This was July of 2024, right out here in this courtyard, and I was just bawling in the grass, crying out to God. And I was like, God, either take me or use me. Like either use me as a cautionary tale for what other men shouldn't do, or just take me home now. Just I don't want to live anymore, right? And since then, right, I went on this. I don't know where it came from, you guys. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't know why God does these things. And I can't even begin. I'm so done arguing with anybody about anything, and I'm done telling anybody what they should do. Like, if you want to believe in Jesus, believe in Jesus. If you don't. Like, I've learned at 41 years old, and what I'm learning from this is like, you cannot help people who are not willing to help themselves. You can't demonstrate it for them. You can't pull them into it. You can't put them on your back and carry them across. Like, you cannot help people that do not want to help themselves. You should not even waste 1 ounce of energy or breath or time or money. Nothing. Prayer only. Pray for people. That is it, dude. I'm so dead serious. Fast and pray. Fast and pray. That's the best thing that you can do. But like, do not waste 1 ounce of your, please don't waste your time on people who don't want to help themselves. So I'm building up to this whole entire letter and this whole entire church thing. So I get to this point where I'm like, okay, I just want to become a living sacrifice. I don't know where those words came from. I want to be a living sacrifice. Every morning I wake up, I'm making content about narcissistic abuse, and I'm saying, Lord, I'm a living sacrifice. Use me as you need me, right? Like I am not my own. And that's what he's done, right? So then somebody tells me about this verse in the Bible, Romans 12, 1 through 2. I've never read the Bible. They say, yo, bro, have you ever read Romans? You have verse 12, 1 through 2. Chapter 12, verse 1 through 2. And I said, no, what does it say? And it's like, yo, it says, therefore, brother, I urge you, in view of God's mercy, offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing. This is your true and proper worship. Then you may know what is God's true and proper will. So for all you new age people, we like to say like, oh, we got to get clear so the antenna can tap into the frequency, right? Like same freaking principle, dude, same principle. The less distractions that we have inside of our body, the less things that are going on in our mind and our heart, the more that we can hear what God is saying to us. I mean, it tells us, be still and know that I am God. Even when the Israelites were coming out of Egypt and Egyptians were bearing down on them and they were about to die, they were backed up in the desert and they thought, here we go. Like, there's no way we can escape this. God says to them, Exodus 14:14, you need to only be still. I will fight for you. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I started reading this Bible and I started cleaning my vessel. I got sober and I got in shape. So hormonally, I was functioning correctly. My cells are firing on all cylinders. I'm telling you, I'm clean. My vessel is clean. My temple is clean. My temple is honoring God, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. That's the whole entire thing. And that's when these downloads start coming. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I guess I'm going to go to church. And so I go to church, and it's like, I've never been in church culture before. And the church I'm going to, like, God bless them, and 98% of the people there are really amazing people who love me very much. And I hesitate to share this letter because it's like, again, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so I know that a lot of people will be hurt, but that's because they choose not to understand me. Hey, baby, you want to say hi? This is Ruth. Hey, baby. Oh, I love you so much, sweetie. You already ate dinner. Yeah, you already ate dinner, sweetie. You going to go outside soon? All right. Can I read this letter? And then I'm going to read this letter first. Okay, baby? I love you. I love you. Get down. Get down. Thank you. Oh, thank you, baby. Okay. So I end up in this church, and you guys have to understand, when I found the promise of Jesus Christ and I found what Christianity was, like, I was like punch drunk. Like, I was just, oh my gosh. I thought everybody was just the greatest. I thought, like, I started reading the Bible. Well, side note, turns out last year I was diagnosed with ADHD, which means that I'm autistic and have ADHD, which I'm finding now autism is a superpower, ADHD is a disability. And my ADHD was masking my autism my whole life. And my autism plays a really big role in why I am so destructive inside of communities when I don't mean to be. And so for a lot of you, you should probably go get checked out, see if you're neurodivergent, because what you'll realize if you are neurodivergent is that the reason it feels like the entire world has been against you your entire life, it's because it has been, but not on purpose. It's because the world is wired for neurotypical people, and neurodivergent people are so disruptive in the neurotypical world that we literally feel like the most persecuted person. Like we feel like Jesus, right? And I didn't realize all this until I was going to therapy and all the things this last year. But again, which is just more stuff to try to process. But anyways, so like my autism is I read the Bible and I see patterns really quick, and that's like a narcissistic or not narcissistic trait. That's an autistic trait. We have insane pattern recognition. So especially in people or especially in communities, like the reason I can walk into a room and read the entire room, one has to do with growing up with a narcissist and the CPTSD that you grow up with, because you have to be able to read the room quick enough to keep yourself safe. Okay, so I start going to church and the people are great and all these things, but the more I start to develop these relationships, the more I start to recognize these inconsistent patterns in people. And it's most people. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. This is just how most people are, especially neurotypical people. Like, people are okay with the mundane. They complain about everything, but they change nothing. They take no action. And when you present them with action to take, at first they're like, oh yeah, like that's great. Thank you. Like that's fire. But when you stay consistent, it's almost like they feel like you're throwing that consistency in their face, especially if you're in close proximity all the time. So if I'm constantly shredded out, I'm constantly disciplined, I'm constantly sacrificing myself every day, and I'm living the word, and I'm brand new to Christianity, and because I have such a good understanding of New Age principles, all the universal laws, all Buddhism, all the things, all the theologies I studied and believed in my entire life, all the Lakota, all the Native American principles, like all of quantum physics stuff, all of the conversations with Ra, like all the conspiracy theories, like all of that stuff. When I started reading the Bible, all lined up instantly. And so now all of a sudden I'm existing in this community where I came in, I started to understand the Bible at this really great level. Because I'm a leader and a coach and a speaker, I can articulate well. And I think a lot of people felt like I was trying to come in and take over, and I wasn't at all. Okay, so again, I'm setting context for a lot of you who may be wired like me to understand why your life is like it is. So at first you come in and people are like, dude, this is dope. Like this, you're the shit. But the more consistent you are, the longer the reflection is to them that they are not what they say that they are. And if they were doing what they say they're doing, they would have results. But when you spend a year with people and there is no results in their life, they've not moved the needle at all, you understand that what they're saying is just hot air. Now, for an autistic person, it's almost impossible for us to exist in that kind of a climate without saying something. As a high-performing male, it's hard for me to be around dudes. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. Dude, nobody has to be any type of way. If you never want to work out, I'm not even going to preach at you people should anymore. Like, I don't care. Like, again, I'm telling you, like, I still struggle with smoking pot all the time. Not to get high, but to regulate myself because of my ADHD. I don't want to be on Ritalin. I don't want to be on whatever. The other one is I can't think. Like, I don't want that. I also don't want to smoke pot, but I need something to regulate myself. So I'm not sitting here preaching at you guys being like, bro, like, you got to be this. Like, dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's why I'm telling you guys I don't know anymore. I'm just telling you this experience that I've had in church as it applies to narcissism and this letter, which is like, dude, if spiritual gaslighting was a letter, right? And so I start existing in this culture, and it starts to, the people who I trusted really kind of start to hold me in a different light, and I can feel the change. And I can feel that they're just like tired of my shit, like tired of my intensity, tired of it always being the same thing. And I'm just thinking like, bro, have any of you guys ever had any of the success that you actually want? Because one, I'm going to tell you, I have had the success. Two, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fulfill you like you think it is. And three, if you do want it, it's about fucking consistency. It's about doing the exact same thing, the same boring shit over and over and over every single day. That's the only difference between people who win massively and people who don't, is the people that can consistently show up and do the most boring shit over and over and over every single day without missing. Like, that's it. It's that way in business when it comes to making money and marketing and branding and sales. It's that way with your body. It's that way with your health. It's that way with your spouse. It's that way with Jesus. It's that way with everything. But people don't like that reality because they're lazy. And they've become so sedated with the beast system, which is working exactly like it's supposed to, that they don't want to change. But I didn't realize all of this. I got into this Christian community. I'm reading the book. I'm interpreting the book. So I just assumed that everybody is also interpreting the book this way. So the more small groups I sit in this church, like I'm like about it. Let's ride for the Lord. What do you need from me? Here's all my money. Here's all my time. But it turns out like not a lot of people, if any, are like that in the church. A lot of churches, because I've now gone to different churches and it's just like people aren't really like that. And again, that's fine. So now what happens is like I meet a girl at the church and I was with this girl for like 5 weeks and it was pretty serious pretty fast, which was my fault. I didn't realize a classic ADHD characteristic is like this hyperfixation and falling in love instantly. And so we both moved really, really fast, too fast. And I will accept full responsibility for that because as a man, especially who I am, like I should have known better. And I just had been single for so long. No sex happened. Like we were both, she loved Jesus, nothing like that. But I've just been single for so long. And I was looking for signs and I saw these signs and like, I accept full responsibility for getting into this. But after like 5 weeks, I'm like, yeah, your shit does not line up with who you say you are too. I'm not doing this. And truthfully, she had a kid and it was like, every time I looked at that kid, I only thought about the boys who I don't get to be a dad to anymore. And, I just don't want to be a dad to anybody else with those boys. And so I just didn't want that being that relationship anymore. And so I was like, I told her straight up, like, I'm done. Like we need to end this. So we did. And like a bunch of dummies, we kept hanging out anyways. At one point I tell this girl, I said, listen to me, like we don't have to hang out. Like, I want you to know that I'm not trying to have my cake and eat it too. It's nothing like that. Like, you know, and she agreed. Yeah. All the things. I'm getting to a point with this letter and this whole entire thing. It's like, she agrees to like, yeah, like that's cool, you know, but we still kind of like each other. We know that. Long story longer. Her and I are supposed to go on a date to this concert and she brings another dude. And it turns out that she was seeing this dude, which I thought was pretty messed up to do. Comes and picks me up. I go down and get in her car and there's another dude in there. Sit through this entire concert watching these guys cupcake the whole entire time. I get dropped off. They're dating. It's like, this is weird. I felt very betrayed, right? Whatever. I don't say anything to anybody. I just move on with my life. I don't say anything to anybody in the church. I just move on with my life. She's in church with this new guy after her and I were just a thing for a while, right? So I went from not wanting to ever talk to women again or being in a relationship to being with this girl who like really made me kind of feel betrayed. And I understand that's on me. I'm not trying to crucify her. I'm just saying that is the situation that happened. So fast forward then about a month and there's a guy in my church who shows up, younger guy, and I'm helping him be sober and I'm like being buddies like a big brother to him and, you know, really helping. And his dad and I are good friends. His dad's older and the mom is older. And it's like, I mentor this kid. And at one point we're over here at my apartment smoking pot and I tell him about what happens with this girl. He's like, so what happened with the old girl and yada, yada, like, you know, her and him just broke up. And I heard some people saying some things about you. And I'm like, well, this is what happened. This is what happened, bro. I'm like, she did this thing and da, 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 da. So this guy I'm sitting here that I was kind of mentoring, he looks at me, he's like, this is so messed up, bro. I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad if that happened to me. That's messed up that she did that to you. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of thought so too, but I don't really care. I'm just going to move on. So tell me then why 2 weeks later I go into church and that guy and the girl are now dating, right? So the part that was triggering for me, and I'm getting to a point, is that I've been in church for an entire year. And I had been running a men's ministry. I helped them start their men's ministry, like really start their men's ministry. I was doing a monthly men's event where I was feeding like 20 to 30 men every month, just from the area, right? Like I was all of my spare time. I was volunteering and everything. Like I didn't want anything. I just was so all in for Jesus and to help the community because like I knew how to do it. So like, let's roll, right? So tell me then why, like we get to the end of the year and all of a sudden I go to church and it's like all these people who loved me in the beginning of the year and like were so close to me, like who started to alienate me slowly, weren't talking to me. And then all of a sudden it's like I date this girl and I'm kind of hanging out with these people. And then as soon as I'm out of the picture, this new guy slides in and they just slide right back into the whole group and the whole group doesn't miss a beat. And again, I don't feel bad for me. I'm not looking for retribution. It's not about picking me. I don't feel like none of that. It's not about me. It's just an observation of holy shit. These are the type of people that I'm around. These are the type of people that are willing to do that. Like where I come from, when you have brothers, because of the type of people, the type of dangerous environments I was around, like when you're down for somebody, like, bro, you are down for them. Like, bro, if I tell you I'm down for you, like I'm so down for you. You have no idea. Bro, like you don't know, right? And so again, I guess I assume when I bond with other males that they're like that too. And they don't have to be. I just assume that people are, I guess. And so here I am. I'm starting to feel alienated, which is weird. And now all of a sudden, those same people that alienated me have truly alienated me. They've completely moved on. And all the things that I was part of, it's like they just insert this new person and just never missed a beat. Nobody's like, yo, bro, how you feeling? What's going on? Everybody just kind of held me at an arm's length because it's like, this guy's having a hard time. We better pray for Marshal. And it's like, that's the whole thing that I'm struggling with in this Christian community is it's just that so much passivity and so much like people just don't address what's really going on. Everybody just kind of smiles and puts a mask on. And it's like, I can't wear that mask as this autistic person. And so it's hard for me to let the bullshit slide. And so right at the exact same time that this all goes down, the month before was November, and I ran a turkey drive here in my hometown. I raised like $400 and I personally donated $300 and I fed like 17 families locally. Like I have all the receipts. I shared it all online, all this stuff. Again, long story longer, fast forward to right around December, a month later, and some politician in our hometown, for whatever reason, sees me on social, literally has never met me, doesn't know me, literally some 35-year-old guy, alderman, just sees me in a Facebook group and starts saying that I'm a scam artist and a thief and that I stole all this money from people. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? And so he posts me publicly, runs my name, and everybody in a small little hometown that sees it is like, oh, I knew it. I knew it about this guy. And the thing is that all those people who I thought were down for me in the church, especially those guys who I literally like I mentored, like so many of them, and I paid for groceries for those people throughout the year. Like I'm not asking for an award. I'm saying like they fucking know who I am, dude. Like they fucking know who I am, dude. They know who I am. And they watch this person drag my name through the mud. They know the truth that I actually really did to donate 100% of that money. They know that I'm fucking broke, and every time I get money, I give it to the church in some way, shape, or form, or to ministry. And did any of them stick up for me? Did one person say anything in the Facebook group? Did one person come to me personally and go, bro, I see what you're going through, but don't worry, I believe you. No, fucking no, dude. They all tucked their head in the sand. Not one person left me out there to fucking just die on my own, bro. And so again, I'm emotional about it because it's emotional. I'm hurt, but I'm not mad at anybody. And that's why I'm sharing this entire thing, dude. I want you guys to learn like multiple things can be true at the same time. I can be very hurt and I don't have to be mad at anybody because the truth of the matter is like, bro, what I'm realizing from this entire situation is that I haven't loved with boundaries my whole life. My manipulative tactic is that I will martyr myself to try to earn your love. And when you don't accept my martyrdom, when you don't accept that, then why I hesitated to do this video is because the intention behind this in the past would be able to use this to prove to you that I'm right. And I didn't want any energy of me sharing this letter to come off as me trying to prove that I'm right, because there's nothing to prove. That's what I'm trying to reiterate to you guys. Like, it doesn't matter. God is in charge 100%. I don't know why or how these things happen. So I'm not trying to prove anything. I want to read to you what spiritual gaslighting looks like. So this happens, and all this happened at the same time. And so I show up at Christmas service, and all of my old friends that I spent the last year with, I haven't talked about this, so it's weird. They're over there sitting together, laughing, having the thing, and I'm all isolated over here all by myself, feeling a certain type of way, really feeling the way. And there were some other things that were going on I'm not going to talk about, that don't really matter. And so at one point, the person who I felt weird about the entire time, this lady, dude, like, there's just something that the day I met her, I just was like, something not right about you. I don't believe you. Something I don't believe about you, girl. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it. But like, she says all the right things and does all the prayers, and everybody like, she's like, thinks that she's awesome, and like, oh yes, you're so spiritual and you're holy and you're our prayer team. So I'm like, I must be crazy, right? And so earlier in the podcast episode, I was telling you guys, like, listen, what I know about narcissism is only about the relationship narcissism. I started learning about it through my therapist. I started doing all my own research, and I'm like, oh shit, which is why I by and large only talk about female narcissists from a standpoint of like a relationship dynamics. That's all I have experience in. So when I got into the narcissist space here and started making content, and people started talking about Christian narcissists, I didn't even know what that meant. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, everybody at my church is awesome. I'm so like, so stupid, so naive, and just like I said, punch drunk on Jesus. Like, oh, all Christians are the same. We're all reading the same book. Da, 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 da. So stupid. I had no idea. I didn't know. You don't know what you don't fucking know, dude. And so all this is going down, and this lady turns out, I'll never forget it, bro. I walk in on Christmas service, and she's sitting at this table, and everybody's gathered around her, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm having these kind of intuitions. I'm having these thoughts and these feelings. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm thinking bad things. I don't want to think that about her. I'm going to go on about my business. Yeah, me too. Richard says, it saddens me that this is even a thing. I do my best to remember that it happened for Christ himself. Betrayal is terrible, bro. And again, I'm not trying to pick on anybody. And this letter is anonymous. So this is all allegedly. This is all for, like, we don't know. 100% speculative. This is all speculative. Like, this could all be not true at all. So we're just speculating 100%. I'm not an expert therapist. I'm not a counselor, none of that stuff. So, watch out, mama. Watch out, mama. Oh, good girl. Okay, good girl. Thank you. I'm not an expert at all. So it's like, I'm just sharing what I'm going through. So at this point, like, I go into the service, and I'm watching all those people sitting over there. I'm sitting by myself, and this lady walks over, and she sits down, and she shares this. We do not talk like this. We haven't talked in a long time at this point. And she comes and sits down like we're all buddy, and I'm getting all my spidey senses are going down, and she shares this dream that she had the night before about this verse that she just felt called to share with me. And when I read the verse, the verse was about the prophet leaving the town and going away. And I was like, oh my God, did you just come over here and share with me a verse that basically tell me that I should go away? Like, that's what it felt like. It's literally what it felt like. Again, pattern recognition. Our intuition is a lot more clear than we think it is, especially when you're sober and you're dialed into the word of God every single day. Like, I wasn't trying to think those things about this lady. This is just naturally what was coming in. I'm like, this is not right. So I'm like, no, I don't believe that. Go away. Fast forward like a couple days later, and I get a text from this lady who does not text me. And it's a text, basically some more bullshit like that. Some more bullshit passive thing like that. And it was at that moment, I was like, oh my God, am I dealing with, right? And then I made a video. Didn't name any names. I never name names because I have a following of over 300,000 people. That's what the thing is about these fucking people in small towns, dude. It's like, they think what is what we show you today? The channel's getting 27 million views, the last 30 days. So it's like, this message is not for any of the people in my little hometown. And that's what people get hung up on, right? But I laugh. Anyways, I digress. So I don't name any names. I'm just sharing the story. I'm talking about what's going on. My part is that I wish I hadn't done it like I did. And going forward, I'm not going to make any more gotcha, no more accusations, no more warring, no more telling you guys you should do this. Like, you guys, I'm having a hard enough time with like literally keeping myself alive, not putting my cig in my mouth and ending it. Like, real talk. And again, don't feel bad for me. Like, my life is good. I've lived a really good life. I just don't know the point of going on, and I'm struggling to know what that is. Like, I'm really struggling, and that's okay. Like, I'm just going to talk about it, not because I need attention, because I don't fucking care. I'm probably not even going to answer your text or your message anyway. So it's like, not because I'm a dickhead, but because that's my autism. Like, I can't help it. I literally cannot open my phone and get back to your messages. I don't know why. So I'm just telling you, like, this is where I'm at. I have nothing to sell you. I don't have it figured out. I'm just fucking telling you what's going on. So I make this video and I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't done it like that. I don't want to be like that anymore. So I never should have shared that video like I did. And I'm holding myself accountable. Words can't change that. Only actions can change that. But that's what part of what this letter is about. So I say this thing out loud and I'm going off. Like, it's very reactive because I'm pissed. And I'm calling people out left and right. Like, it was a live video. Some of you may remember it. It was like 3-4 months. It was like 3 months ago, something like this, 2 months ago. And I'm just calling people out. And I ended up hurting a lot of people. And it did catch a lot of people, I'm sure, off guard. I'm sure it caught a lot of people that loved me off guard in the church. And I was talking a lot of shit about institutional churches, which I'm still struggling with. And I don't really agree with institutional church. I don't agree with it. I think it's a busted system, like the school system or the college system. Like, it's no good. It's too big of a hurdle to Jesus Christ. It's not about the religion. Religion is important. Jesus was religious. Jesus taught us religion. Jesus gave the sacraments of baptism and the communion. So, like, it's not about a relationship. Like, yes, be in a relationship, but also Jesus was also religious. So I'm not warring against religion. It's just I don't believe in the institutional church. But again, I digress. What I'm getting at is that at this point, I'm realizing the dynamics of what's going on in this church. And I don't like it. And I don't want to be part of it. But I didn't want to hurt anybody. But I started making all this video content online, not about that church. Again, we have over 300,000 followers. It's just about church experience in general. But again, because I exist here in this real life, it hurts people that I see at the gym. The same people that I spent the last year and a half with, they see me at the gym. They see me at the grocery store. We bump into each other around town all the time. And now it's weird. And I acknowledge and accept my responsibility in making it weird. But also, it's only weird because I stopped fucking accepting your mask. Because once they show me who they really are, and this is not about them. This is the message for all of you. Like, we need to trust people that they really are who they show us they are the first time. And so it's like, I'm not mad at anybody, but these same people that let me just dangle out in the wind instead of ever standing up for me or showing me that they gave a fuck, it's all just empty words. It's all empty words when it's safe. It's empty safe words at the gym. It's empty safe words in the men's group. But when you're really fucking out there in the street, bro, like, there's nobody to be found. Not that's in my life right now, and that's fine. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody needs to be like that. And not all of my friends need to be like that. It's just that it's weird because I'm not going to play the game anymore. So I've excluded myself from all of the bullshit because really what it feels like is a big social clique. It feels like high school and I'm not down for that. I don't want that. I want Jesus Christ. I want him crucified. I want the theology of the cross. I want to baptize. Like, I want ministry to the sick, to the poor, to the persecuted, to those in prison. Like, that's what I want, dude. I just bit Bible. That's all. I'm not righteous. I don't know anything. I just know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to be a drug addict. I know what it's like to be in prison. I know what it's like to be the sick. Like, bro, when you are those things, nobody gives a fuck about you, dude. Nobody. And all these rich people postulate like they do, but they don't fucking really care. I'm not talking about the church. I'm talking about rich people in general. Right? And it's just like, and so I got in the church and I thought it was going to be this certain way, and it's not. And it makes me emotional because I feel betrayed again. It's not, and I'm not a big baby. I'm not trying to be dramatic. There's a hurt little boy and this 41-year-old man still who's just trying to find his place in the world. And no matter where I turn, there's no place in the world ever, dude. And I know I'm not alone in feeling like that. That's why I know that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. I know that that's it. It's only in him that we find it. And so it's like, that's why I war against being here. It's like, what is my point in being here? To be away from the body is to be with the Lord. There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ, right? And so it's like, anyways, that's what I'm dealing with. All of this stuff. And so the last like 6 weeks, I stopped going to church. I went from being involved in all the church stuff to just none of it. And again, I'm not trying to be emotional, but I'm fucking out here all alone. I'm out here all alone. You're not supposed to do Christianity alone. And men can't do life alone. It's dangerous. Even in 2 Peter, it tells us the devil roars like a prowling lion looking for those to devour. He's looking for those to devour that are walking the streets alone, that are outside of the kingdom. Like, I'm not trying to be isolated. Do you understand? I've been going to churches nonstop trying to find a place to fit in, but they're either not biblical or it's like I can feel the bullshit right away. And it's just like, dude, I just want Jesus. Is there anybody that just wants Jesus, right? And so like all these things are going through my mind. And like yesterday morning, Saturday morning, I wake up and there's men's group at this church that I used to go to 6:30 every morning and every Saturday morning. And I'm going to DoorDash. It's like 6 o'clock. I plug into DoorDash. How do you go from fucking making millions of dollars to DoorDash? And I can't even handle it right now, God. But I'm going to DoorDash and all of a sudden I get this feeling like, dude, you should go to church. You should go to men's group. So I did. I went to men's group yesterday and it was amazing. And the few guys that were there were like, dude, it's so good to see you. And I'm like, it's actually really good to be back. I think I'm going to come to church. And so I wake up this morning and I'm like, it's like 4:40 and I'm excited to go to church. I'm like, I don't even remember what I'm mad about. I mean, I did remember, but I was ready to just like let it go. I'm like, it's cool, man. I'm just going to let it go, right? And I walk out into my living room or into my kitchen and this letter is on the table. And I see it and it's anonymous. There's no return address. And also, it looks like it was written by an old lady. And it was like, I was like, oh no, I can already feel it's not good. And so I want you guys to understand what happened. This is what happens. Last week I went to Sunday service. I was dying for communion. I hadn't taken communion in like 6 weeks. I had to go take communion, and at the church I go to, they do communion every service. But I'm not in a space mentally and emotionally where I can handle talking to people. Like I get a panic attack going to church. And so I said, I just wanted the worship. I just wanted the Christ. I just wanted to be with God in the sanctuary. So I waited. I was at the church. I was watching online. I waited until they did announcements. They sang the worship songs. They did announcements. They did passing of the peace, which is where you wake up and walk around and shake everybody's hands. And then once they were getting seated for passing the peace, I came in the back of the sanctuary and I sat down with my hood up because I was having severe anxiety, but I wanted to be where the Lord was at, right? And I was trying to overcome these things because I kept going to different churches all around the area and I couldn't get the liturgy that I was looking for. Liturgy being like the ceremonial service, the religious part of the service, right? Like I couldn't get the liturgy anywhere else. That they do it the best. And so I had to go to this thing. And so like, a lot of people, they see me sitting there probably with my hood up in the back and think, man, this guy's a dickhead. But really, like, I'm struggling to even be in the seat. Like, you understand? Like, I'm not crying because I want you to feel bad for me. Don't give a fuck about me. I'm just emotional about it because it's an emotional thing. And I'm sitting there, I'm trying to keep it together. I'm trying to not fucking have a mental little breakdown. And I'm trying to be proud of myself for being there. That's what's going on in my life. I'm trying to recover from this lifetime of betrayal and PTSD. Just a little boy who's always been trying to fit in because he just wants to be fucking loved. So he just loves on everybody with no boundaries and he's willing to hurt himself. And then when they don't do that, he gets reactive and then he hurts them. And it's like, I don't want that. So I'm going there to be rended, to pour myself out, you understand? To give myself to the Lord, say, heal me, fix me, help me. Either way, I'm here, right? That's where I'm at mentally. I'm just setting up the context of this letter. And then we do all the stuff, confession, blah, blah, blah. And at the very end, I leave before it's time to walk out in the hall and to talk to everybody. I don't have the space for that. I didn't have the space for that. Okay. So fast forward now to this week and I just get this letter. I open it up. This is what I read at 4:40 this morning after literally, again, I'm just being honest. I don't have anything I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care if you guys buy anything from me. I don't care if you follow me. I don't care anymore. I don't care if everybody never views again. Like, I don't care. But like, on Monday, what is today? Today's Sunday. So on Monday, I I was very close to ending my life, right? Like it was probably the closest I've been since, uh, is close. It was really close. I was really almost convinced to do it. I was really close, which is really sad to think about. I'm not going to, just so you know. I'm too much of a pussy because I do love my life. But anyways, that's where I was at on Monday, or that's where I was at just this past Monday, right? So for me to wake up this, again, I'm not trying to make you feel bad for me. That's why I fucking hate even telling this story because it makes me feel like I'm whining and being a victim. I'm not trying to be a victim at all. I'm just being honest and real with you guys. So I wake up this morning and I'm proud of myself because I'm willing to just let it go for the first time. I'm like, that's okay. Those people can be those people and I'll be me. And I don't have to be a leader. I don't have to do these things. I can still love them and they can still love me. Okay, so I wake up and then I get this letter. That's the mindset. And I walk out and see this letter. I'm like, oh shit, and I get this sinking feeling. So if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, you remember when you would be at home and the narcissistic parent would pull in the driveway around 4:30 or 5 o'clock when they get home from work, and like you absolutely cannot be. If you guys don't know, you cannot be caught chilling when a narcissist walks in the door. Like when a narcissist comes home, if you are sitting down doing nothing, bro, trust me, you do not want to be found sitting down doing nothing when a narcissist comes home. So to all you guys who grew up with a narcissistic parent, you know that sinking, instant, sickening feeling you get when you see the car pull up and you know what I'm saying? That's the feeling I got when I opened this letter this morning. Okay, so this is what it says. Again, I'm going to break down the whole entire thing because what happens, and the reason I wanted to share all of that, I showed up at that service and a lot of people were very encouraged to see me there and a lot of people reached out and messaged me. So I assumed already that the lady that I had mentioned in my last video, all her and her little flying monkeys are probably talking about me. And the flying monkeys in this situation probably don't know that they're flying monkeys. Like they don't know that. That's the thing about a vulnerable narcissist. A vulnerable narcissist is different than the covert narcissist. A vulnerable narcissist is the one that always gets everybody to pity them, to feel bad for them. The one that's very quiet and very meek. Like it's the last person that you would ever think is a narcissist, but a vulnerable narcissist is one of the most typical narcissists that you'll find in the Christian community. And so, so what happens, again, this is all speculative because I don't know anything. I'm just using this as an example, and this is all an example I'm forming. It could not be true, right? Just want to put that out there. So what happens is that, let's just say in this scenario that I come back to church and the vulnerable narcissist sees everybody reacting to me. Well, the vulnerable narcissist was feeling good because I'm out of the picture. I'm finally gone. I'm not on social media, none of the things. Like I'm completely gone. They feel great. Now all of a sudden I come poking my head back around after 6 weeks and people are very excited to see me. And so the whole entire people are probably talking, hey, oh my gosh, did you see Paul Marshall was back? Da 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 da, right? So if there was a narcissist in the hen house, if there was a narcissist there, that would aggravate the fuck out of them. Like so bad. Beyond belief, because that's how narcissist minds work. Even though that nobody knows, they know, the narcissist knows that you're getting sunshine that they don't think that you should have. And it becomes personal to a narcissist to hurt you. So again, totally speculative, but there's only really one person or two people that would, this could possibly be, that would send me a letter, that would send me this letter written like this. Okay, so this is what the letter says. Marshal, I've decided to keep this note anonymous since you have chosen to shut out most people from the church. I've decided to keep this note anonymous since you have chosen to shut out most people from the church. Okay, so right there, as somebody who teaches persuasion and influence as a speaker trainer, what we teach is how to establish what you're going to say in frames. So we don't follow formulas. We've set up frames. So I'm going to frame you up before I say something. And depending on how you frame something is really the difference between a positive presupposition and a negative presupposition. Well, if you want to create influence and persuasion in people, you want to use as many positive presuppositions as possible, which a presupposition just means it's something that you presuppose about the person that you're talking to. So if you want to subliminally influence people, you want to presuppose or future pace them to the identity that they want to become. And so one thing that we teach in speakers is like how to open up a letter, a talk, a presentation, a video. And I can tell you right off the bat, like this one's already framed and she doesn't know she's doing this, but this is what a narcissist does. It's intrinsic, framing me up to be the one that is in the wrong, that should be shameful. Right off the doesn't even spell my name right one. I've decided to keep this note anonymous. Okay, cool. So you're gonna stay in control, right? You're gonna stand on a pedestal and talk to me, but you don't have the courage to show your face or to stand behind what you're saying. Got it. Since you have chosen to shut out most people from the church. Okay, so that's not the gaslight part. That's the part that's like where the frame is turning against you. It's shame driven. Since you have chosen to shut out most people from the church. Not like, hey, yo, how are you doing? Is your mental health okay? Is that why you've isolated yourself because you're struggling so bad to be around people? No, because you have chosen to shut people out of the church. That may be their truth, but do you see how the frame right in and of itself is very accusatory? People who are manipulative do that by nature. That's how I know a manipulative person wrote this. Next paragraph. First off, it was great to see you at church again recently. Again, this is the start of gaslighting. I wish you had stuck around to receive some much needed fellowship. So here's the backhanded compliment. Oh my God, it was so great to see you at church, but I wish you would have stuck around to get the prescription that I think that you need. Like, you understand how that reads? First off, it was great to see you at church again recently. I wish you had stuck around to receive some much needed fellowship. Like, don't get me started on that. Next sentence. There are a lot of people who love you and want the best for you, which is true. The narcissist knows this is true, and I know this is true, and they know this is true, and it is true. 98% of the people at this church love me and want the best for me. They would think absolutely nothing about any of this and all of this. They would welcome me back even right now, still today. It's not about that. I don't care. It's a great church. Go to the church if you want to. It's not about that. It's not about this. This is just an example because this is a channel about narcissism. We get 27 million views a month, and we're going to share some wealth here. I'm sorry that people in my real life have to be the lesson, the catalyst for it. Okay, next paragraph. I wish I knew why you chose to slander good people who love you and never ask anything of you. I wish I knew, and I would do anything to find out except come ask you face to face, which I just think is so funny. I wish I knew why you chose to slander good people who love you, but I'll do anything to come. It's like, anyways, the hypocrisy. But this is the thing. I wish I knew why you chose to slander good people who love you and never asked anything of you. I didn't slander anybody but one person. Do you understand how this starts to be obvious? And I didn't name names, but I only slandered one person. Only one. Everybody else I've talked glowingly about. And there's video to prove it. I am sincerely sorry for anything that happened to you along the way, but not sorry enough to come pull me aside, side to side, and ask me why. Why did I say these things? Specifically. Not pull me aside and try to talk, I've been praying for you. No. Does anybody in this community, not just this community, I'm talking about in the Christian community, it could be in the non-Christian community. This is the problem with people is they don't want to communicate. People aren't willing to stand behind what they say because people have no integrity. The reason that I can go live on here and I have zero problems or qualms about this is because if you dig into me, you're not going to find misalignments. I am who I say I am. I built an entire brand for 10 years online as Marshal Live because I'm going to go live because you can't lie live. You can't hide live. Live is live. So the reason that I can stand on business is not because I'm a perfect person, not because I'm super righteous, but because you can't find shit on me. I've already brought all of my darkness out. So it's like, what are you going to say that I haven't already admitted? I'm the most introspective person there is. I know I'm a scumbag. I know I'm a terrible person. I know that I'm at fault. I know that I caused most of the damage in my life, that I'm destructive and I hurt people. I don't want to be like that. This is why I need Jesus. I'm not saying that passively either. And I'm not trying to say that like the cliche, like I need Jesus because I can't figure it the fuck out. I'm a terrible person. Right. And so I'm not absolving myself of this. I'm just saying like, anyways, I wish I knew why you choose to slander good people who love. I am sincerely sorry for anything that happened to you along the way that would make you burn bridges. See how it's reflected back to me. It's not one of encouragement or one that's making me feel open. It's one that's accusatory. I am sincerely sorry for anything that happened to you along the way that would make you burn bridges. But those of us who saw your post, honestly, stunned. Okay, so those of us who saw your post, which tells me you've been talking with other people. So even the people at the church are 98% good. They still are the type of people that will gossip with the other 2%, which again, in and of itself, are not a crowd of people I want to be around at all. Now, it's not a judgment. It's just like, yo, you know what? I'm not going to try to convince anybody that it should or should not be away. And I'm not going to tell people that they're judgmental because I'm a pothead. So what the fuck is the difference? We're all wrestling our own things, right? But this does tell me, oh, but those of us who saw our post, honestly, were stunned. So you guys have had private discussions about this more than once probably, but I wish I knew why you choose to slander good people, but I'm not willing to come fucking ask you face to face. Okay, next paragraph. I doubt you will take this next piece of advice to heart. Again, framing. Okay? But I'll still present it. Your social media content about narcissistic women will never bless you financially and spiritually. Okay, again, this is 100% true. And the thing that I've wrestled with over the last year is the amount of views that we get, the amount of messages that we get every single day of men saying that I saved their life. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be able to finally stand up. All these things. And yeah, there are a lot of men and women that might take my content and manipulate it, but I don't care. I can't stop that. My message is for a certain type of man. And there was a reel that I shared that saved my life back when I was in my relationship. It's what broke the entire dam open. And if it wasn't for that one reel, I wouldn't have gotten to the therapy that I needed and wouldn't have gotten out of the relationship that I would have. And I definitely would have blown my brains out in Montana. So what I'm saying is that I agree that narcissistic content's not going to bless me financially or spiritually, but I wrestle with the fact of throwing away, 10, 20, 30 million views a month and all the people that I'm helping, that God is helping, because I have to remember the fruit of my spirit is like my fruit is not for me to eat. The fruit that we grow is for God's children to eat. Our fruit is for other people. Our fruit is not for us. And so we have to understand, I'm looking at this narcissist thing. I'm going, okay, well, it's not feeding me financially or spiritually, but it's feeding other people. But am I a martyr? And so these are things I wrestle with back and forth. So remember earlier in this podcast, I told you guys the reason that narcissists are able to mess with us so much is because they use our insecurities and the things they know we're struggling with as a weapon against us. So this is true. I don't think that this person was trying to weaponize that against me, but they just hit the spot because I already know that's true. I've actually been praying to God for some clarity, and I got some clarity literally through this letter, which I'll explain here at the end of this. I'm going to wrap this up here, okay? Your social media content about narcissistic women will never bless you financially or spiritually. Several of us had the misfortune of viewing the video you shared where you follow. Okay, so several of us again tells me that we've been commenting to you. Now, this next part really pisses me off. And this is, if you're a victim, you'll understand why if you've ever been a victim of narcissistic abuse. Several of us had the misfortune of viewing the video you shared where you followed around your previous girlfriend throughout your home, taunting her to say something. The look on her young son's face when he was on camera should have been enough to make you delete it. Okay, motherfucking bitch, listen here. And I don't want to be like this. I'm trying to be a good Christian man, but fucking listen here, girl. Listen the fuck here, because you don't know what's going on. Because this is how I'm mad. I'm mad for all of us victims. I'm mad for every single one of us. Narcissistic abuse victims, men and women, who have put our stories out there only to have pieces of shit like this throw it back in our face and try to blame us and make us feel guilty and shameful for sharing the truth about what these evil, demonic, demented, twisted people have done to us. What the video she's referring to, if you go to you can see it, it's pinned there. It's literally the only video I have of me standing up for myself. Because what happened is I found out 3 years into this relationship, engaged, living together, kids are calling me dad because their dad overdosed years before, which I have my suspicions now, but their dad overdosed and they don't have a dad. So like, I'm set up. She has a $10,000 ring on her hand. We just bought a gym and a house and a car and all this stuff. I'm making tons of money as top paid speaker. And everything is going good. And all of a sudden I find out that she has a sugar daddy. And so I confront her about it. And that confrontation turns into a blow up. And then she decides that I shouldn't sleep in the bedroom anymore and that I should sleep on the floor. Now, this is after 3 years of psychological and emotional abuse, couples counseling, singles therapy, like everything, bro. I'm losing my mind. I'm ready to kill myself. Like I'm going nuts. And I find this, I've always had this sneaking suspicion that she was cheating on me this whole entire time. But it's like, bro, like you can't, you don't know. And they say all the right things and you're like, oh man, like it starts to drive you crazy. So when I found out about the sugar daddy and I confronted her, she twisted it and she's like, I think that you should sleep in I think you should sleep in your office. So I got kicked out of the upstairs house, kicked out of the bathroom. I kicked out of the bedroom. I couldn't use the bathroom. I couldn't be in the kitchen when she was in there. She turned the kids against me. You guys, I was paying for everything, doing everything with the kids. You guys, if you've been with a narcissist, you know I was making all the breakfast, all the lunch, all the dinner, doing all the shopping, doing all the appointments, doing all the cleaning, doing everything. I know what she was doing. She was cheating, right? But like, doing everything. Again, not looking for a sob story. I'm just saying like that was the whole entire thing. So what happens is I get relegated to the basement. And in this last 6 week stretch before I was reverse discarded, she was going out all the time, getting drunk, getting high on coke. She's a bodybuilder, so she's all jacked up on steroids every day anyways. And she would come home at night at like midnight and she would like slam the door and stomp up the stairs and stomp around the house and turn on music and be loud and be talking shit about me, calling me a faggot and a fat fuck and saying I'm a piece of shit and I'm a liar and all this crazy stuff with the kid. And the kids know that their mom's nuts. She was nuts before I ever showed up. And they're teenage boys at this point, like 15 and 12. And so they know who their mom is, right? And multiple times when their mom would be out of town, they would ask what would it completely out of nowhere. More than a couple times they would say something like, what would happen if mom never came home? Or what if her plane crashed and it was just the three of us forever? Like they know who their mom is. So what I'm saying is this video I shared was like the fourth or fifth time this happened. And I'm downstairs laying there at midnight. I'm having an anxiety attack because where is she? Like I haven't talked to her all day and now she's not home. And it's like, like all these thoughts are racing through your mind. And again, here she comes home talking shit. And I have the entire video. I could post the entire video, right? And so finally enough is enough. I take my phone out because I want somebody to see what I'm going through. And I start taunting her. And I wish I hadn't done it like that. And I wish that T hadn't been in the middle of it. But if you can see the kid's face, what he's really doing is he's going, because he knows I'm calling her out on her shit and he can't believe I'm actually saying it. And so anyways, that's the video. The video that she's referring to is me finally standing up for myself. So I had some proof of what was going on. And if you are a victim of narcissistic abuse, you can watch that video and you know exactly who the narcissist is. So this narcissist tries to throw that in my face. You understand? Like that's the thing that pisses me off so much. That this one thing, and then she tries to throw one of my he's my son still. I don't care what anybody says. I know the Lord is going to bring those boys back to me because they don't have a dad. There's nobody else out. There's nobody. He's going to bring them back to me. Anyways, so that's what that's about. So the look on her young son's face. Okay. So anyways, next sentence. Peddling to other hurt men about how awful their current or previous partners are and basically absolving them or yourself of playing any negative role is cowardly and immature. Again, that's what a narcissist does. They try to frame it in a way that makes you feel guilty. But if you are a man or a woman that has been inside of any of our containers, our coaching, our counseling, like you know what the story is. But then this is what a narcissist does. Take a quick look at the list of narcissistic traits and see how much of yourself there is in there. You recently claimed that you at least found Jesus, trying to be dismissive of my faith during all of this. I'd also urge you to check your words and actions because everything Jesus teaches, we all fall short. There are lots of us that are praying for you. So anyways, I don't know why I share these things, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think.